Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Agent is In. Today is episode 46, and I wanted to talk about classification with genders. It might be a hot topic, but in HPC, Etsy genders is often used for node classification. And I saw somebody using it again the other day, and I thought that it would be fun to write a little bit of policy around it because I like to do that. So I just want to take you through some of that. So let me share my screen again. Well, for the first time, I guess. All right. So I'm not going to do the live writing today, but I'm going to go over some stuff that I have written previously. So first thing was an example parsing Etsy genders directly with policy. So genders is, I often have seen it in high performance computing environments. It's a way to identify a group of hosts that share common attributes. I don't know that parsing Etsy genders directly could be a terrible idea, right? There might be some edge cases that my parsing doesn't cover, but it does have the advantage of not needing to have any of the utilities of genders installed. The format for it, well, it lives in Etsy genders, and the format looks like this, where you have it looks like Etsy hosts, where you have the host name, and then followed by a comma-separated list of attributes, and attributes might have values. So when I look at this, these comma-separated list of things, I thought, at least the ones without values, I thought made sense to have as classes. Obviously, some of these are classes where, we're going to define automatically. And then the attributes with values, it might make sense to define classes for those as well, like canonify the key and the value and have a class that identifies it. But I thought that it made a little bit more sense to have variables for those. So that's what I did here in this policy. So this policy defines namespace scoped classes, so they're available to other bundles in your policy. This is an agent bundle that does this, so not usable by server bundles or monitor bundles, but of course we could just change the type of bundle there and make those classes available for other components of CFEngine. But I thought CFEngine was primarily where you would want to have this information. So this defines G underscore prefixed classes, for genders. And then it defines variables, and both the classes and the variables are tagged in a way that an enterprise hub would collect that information into the database. The variables specifically are tagged for the inventory subsystem, so you have a little bit kind of nice presentation of that. So if we take a look at the policy here, you can tell this is just my little test policy for it. So when I run it directly, it will set up an environment with the init bundle, and then it will run the genders bundle to do the parsing and inventory. And then you can see here for my init bundle, the genders file, which is here. It's temp genders for my little testing environment. It's going to have this content, right? So node name, and then for the host that's executing, we'll define this comma separated list of things, and then this value here. Looking down into the bundle that does the work, I had started off trying to parse it in one go to get the list of node attributes in one go, but I abandoned the attempt. It was a little bit difficult to get all of the things, so I needed to do a multi-step attempt because the space, having two different delimiters in the same line, trying to do it all within one promise, I was getting where the first node attribute was getting combined with the node name, so yeah, it wasn't working well. So what I ended up doing was parsing it using a couple of promises. So first, to get a list of the entries, the comma separated attributes. So this will be, if I look back up here a little bit, in the case of this node, it would be these: Linux, remote, Ubuntu 24, prod, DAFs, RAD, OCI, ENG. And actually this whole list is what that's going to be. And then let's see here. So we read in the file name, the whole thing, and immediately filter it so that we're only looking at the lines that match the executing host, right? The lines that start with that, and then return that that list of entries. And then we have to split that out and chop it up so that we get the list of attributes that have values, and then we can use filter against this this list of attributes and values to pick out the ones that don't have a value, and then do it again to pick out the ones that do have a value so that we can treat them separately. And then for inventory, I want to tag those things, and reporting, I want to tag them. I don't need to use both tags to get them into the database. One or the other will suffice, but if inventory is there, you really want an attribute name associated with it. And so here I'm building a map to map all of the attributes that have values with their name and then their value, so that you just see the value when you're looking in Mission Portal. And this just pulls the index of those so that I can iterate on those, mostly down here for reporting. And then for the classes, we iterate over that list of attributes that don't have a value associated with them, prefix them with, with G underscore, wrong key, where was I? Down here. Go ahead and tell it where we got it from. It's derived from Etsy genders, report so that it goes, gets collected into the enterprise database, and then define that as a namespace scoped class so that we can use it in other bundles. And then finally here, we get the classes that were defined here. So we look for all of the classes that are defined, which have a tag matching derived from equals Etsy genders. So we're not using like the name of the class, but we're just using that metadata that we attach to it. Join all those classes together with a comma so that we can just print them out on a single line. And then here we iterate over those key values to emit the key and the value. So when executed, it looks like this. So I've got a note here to myself to, maybe file an issue to get a function to parse Etsy genders directly into a data structure. That could be a kind of a nice thing to have. Not that Etsy genders is necessarily super common use case, but it would be nice. So yeah, here's the classes that we got here. You can see all these are what we saw on that line for sys.ucoast, and then inc equals value here. So if we come back up here again and look at that, be right here, matches all these lines. So all that making sense? Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this policy from here, and I'm going to hop over into this hub that I have running. I have a local CFBS project here, and you can see I've got a little bit of policy to just fill up the Etsy genders file with some stuff. And I want to add a new policy here for, let's see here, inventory genders. So I'm going to paste this in here. So we're not going to do temp genders anymore. We'll do Etsy genders. And just look through here to see if there's anything else that I need to fix up. I don't think so. seems right. Come back up here. So we'll rename this inventory genders by parsing. So you can see I've already got my project here, master files, and then that local Etsy genders policy file. It also makes sure that genders is installed so that you have the utilities to list, and work with the genders file. So this command, I think it lists all the attributes that are found in the file across any of the nodes, which is not something I care about from this perspective. But I'm going to go ahead and add this inventory genders. I do want it to be parsed by default, so I'll just say yes there. I'll take these defaults. I don't have other policy that I'm modifying right now. If I did, and because I'm using this for classification, I would probably tweak the cfbs.json file here. And instead of using bundles, which puts this at the end of the bundle sequence, I would probably use def.json, like augments merge, to put this into the classification so that it happens earlier in the normal bundle sequence, but not needed for this. So CFBS build, CFBS install, CFEngine update.cf, and run. Well, that's not ideal. That doesn't look right. Bet there was more I needed to fix up. We shall see.
More underscores?
Yeah, I wonder if there's something in here that's referencing genders. Yeah, right here. Read string list, and I renamed the bundle.
Right.
So let's make this a little smaller. So let's take this down here.
You could probably use what this dot bundle.
Yeah, like this dot bundle. I could probably use
special variable.
Sometimes I avoid it because I have run into some cases where it doesn't work. So I will usually use it if I'm prepared to double check some things, which I'm not exactly prepared to do at the moment. But
yeah,
let's try this again. Now that I've fixed that, CFBS, skipping our git add inventory, git commit dash and fixed variable reference for genders file path, and CFBS build, CFBS install, CFEngine update, and run. There we go. It's looking better. So this host that I'm on is the hub, and we're seeing gprod, and we're seeing inc with precision 5570 vagrant 01, which is what I expect from, let me get over here. If we look again at, we'll look at genders directly. So for the hub, we see prod and inc, and then we see the value. So exactly what we're expecting there. So that is working as expected. Now I wanted to pull up Mission Portal. Let me know if the questions pop up in the middle. That's totally fine.
Yep, will do.
So here we go. Mission Portal. What I wanted to look at was the inventory. I guess I'll go to reports, inventory, and we can adjust the columns here. Do we have inventory back yet for genders? No. Look down here. Nope, I don't see that it's reported back yet. So let's go ahead and go over to one of the hosts, the hub itself, and we will ask for report collection. Request report collection. Report received. I need to boost this up a bit, maybe. A little small. Great. Now, if I look down here, now I've got a bunch of inventory stuff. If I flip back over to my inventory report and I look at the columns available again. Oh, not yet. Now, genders. There we go. So I'm in the inventory subsystem, and as you'll recall, right, we got inc equals precision 5570 vagrant 01, and I tagged variables for inventory, but I did not tag classes. So that is exactly why, we see this. I'm going to go ahead and add this so that we can look at it. And we can see for the hub, it's reporting that. These hosts aren't reporting yet. We can go ahead and maybe collect on one of those.
So Nick, is the genders file, is it used for making choices based on that information to like provision or configure things?
Yeah, usually. So you might identify, some of the classes that I'm using here, like prod, dev, test, right? Maybe you allow compilers to be installed on your dev environment, but not on test or prod, for example.
Right.
Something like that. And actually, I was going to look at groups here as well. So this is done. This is pulled some information back. And if I go over here and just resort, I think, it's still, it hasn't run.
Refresh.
I suppose I need to do run and collect. So while that's happening, I will just flip over here to groups. I don't have any personal groups. Here are shared groups. Let's go ahead and create a new shared group for prod. And let's see here. We're not going to use, so this is, it's mostly based on inventory, but you can use classes here, I believe, as well. Let me search here, G prod. There we go. So genders prod, if it's defined, it will be part of this prod group. Save changes. So now we can see the hub and host one both have that G prod class. And then, as we've seen before, you could come in here and now define some variables or classes additionally to define on those hosts. So flipping back, where was I? I was going to look at this. Pretty sure this is coming back now. No, it's coming back from all the hosts. We can see each one of them is reporting a little bit differently. And that's parsing directly, right? So I wanted to show the other strategy in case there's something wrong with what I'm doing. So So let me move that out of the way. And let's take a look at another implementation. So same thing, but this one uses utility, node adder. So you have to have the genders package installed to use this. But then that's going to be parsed with, that C library, I guess. So potentially it's a little bit faster to fork here. I don't know. If somebody wants to do some testing and let me know, that'd be great. But what we do here is pretty similar to what we're doing when we parse the file. We just use the utility. Node adder, list all of the attributes from this host that is executing the policy. And then you have a list of those attributes. And then we use the exact same strategy that was used previously to get that list of attributes filtered into attributes that do have a value and attributes that don't have a value. I think that these policies differ slightly in their implementation. Does the same, yeah, they do differ slightly. So same thing here with defining, so attributes that have a value are inventoried as variables. The minor difference in these two implementations is here. So I think that this will also define, it's not using the no-val list, it's using the whole list. So we should get a G prefixed class for inc underscore whatever the value of inc was, with canonified as well. So let's grab this and use this one. This one's already got a kind of specific name, so I probably won't have to tweak it. Let me out of there. Oh, wrong button. All right, so we'll just open up this inventory genders again. We'll add this one here. And really the only thing that I want to change is my strategy. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and delete this out of here just so that we don't have any competition. So I need to grab this bundle name. I'm going to save that. I'm going to edit the CFBS specification file for that, and I'm going to change this bundle name to the other bundle. Okay, CFBS build. Obviously, I'm not pushing to a remote repo. I'm just using this this local one here. Otherwise, normally you'd be pushing to your repo. So, and CFBS install and CFEngine. I don't need to do all those. We'll run it with the update policy. There we go. And here's the difference, right? So here we get G underscore inc underscore precision, right? So we have both a class that represents this attribute, and we have a variable to access that attribute value specifically. Yeah, and then I guess the other part of this would be to pull up mission portal here. And I suppose, actually, what did I put in here? Okay, derived from, so it's not tagged for inventory, But we can just use reports. Oh, I suppose maybe we should, let me do a collection so that I have that new information in the database. All right. Oh, I guess we can just look at it instead of doing a custom report. We have classes over here. So if I come down here, show all classes, and let's look for G underscore. Here we go. So we can see G underscore Inc precision. So that class got reported along with gprod, and then both of them derived from CFEgenders. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today. Anybody have any questions?
That's good, Nick.
No questions. All right. Well, I guess we will call that one a wrap. Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys next time on episode 47.